Good morning, everybody. So Cloud Federation as a Service is the second topic that we would like to address with you this morning. So Cloud Federation is one of the initiatives that is proposed by the Commission in its draft strategic orientation to be financed under DEP as of 2021 under Pillar 5. So when we speak about Cloud Federation as a service, it has to be understood as the following: as a new type of cross-border cloud services that are going to be innovative and interoperable and being able to be used by different kinds of public administration, SMEs, and companies to support a swifter delivery of services of general interest, whether of public nature or from economic natures. So why we thought this was important to basically invest into Cloud Federation as a service in the next program is because today cloud services is key in Europe, but however the benefits are not still fully wrapped. So we believe that investing in Cloud Federation as a service in the future, in more cross-border services that they are cloud-enabled, will be a help actually for the different businesses, but also the different sector of the economy and support the digital transformation. Actually, as you can see from these slides, what we see nowadays is that the uptake for cloud services across Europe is still very fragmented across different geographical member states. So some countries having a very high uptake of cloud services, up to even 50% among companies, and other close to zero. So first, we also need to have a less fragmented approach, a cloud use that is much more homogeneous across Europe. Second, as well, as you can see, the uptake is also very diverse between the different type of companies. So actually, even SMEs are actually just using clouds for the moment services, 1 in 5 SMEs in 2019, according to our latest statistics. But the same happened with public administration or other public entities, where we see actually that they are using, in average, cloud services 4 times less than private sectors. So this is something that we would like to try to support with Cloud Federation as a service. And secondly, there is also an economic rationale behind it. That is actually with cloud services, when there are much more use of it, you will be able to save costs in your ICT operation up to 50% in the different operation in a company or in a public administration. But also, you might be also able to have more choice of services, more choice of cloud services into the market in Europe, making more diversity also between service providers in the market and making a more vivid ecosystem of cloud service provider to compete against the rest of the world. And finally, what we see is as well there is a lack of innovation. So cloud services are usually consumed in what we call the SaaS services, so software as a service mainly. These are the applications that they are broadly consumed between public administration, SMEs, and companies. But however, we see that in the platform as a service where a lot of innovation is coming, especially for SMEs, incubator, but also for public administration, there is much less consumption across the different stakeholders. So by investing in a strategic priority as Cloud Federation as a service, we are aiming to try to turn basically these weaknesses of the economy that we have in Europe into some strengths for the next digital transformation of Europe that we are facing now. So concretely, what are we trying to do under the DEP? What we are trying to finance there? What we are proposing to finance at that stage? So on one side, we would like to really have the possibility to deploy these cross-border cloud services at a larger scales across Europe using an incremental approach, starting perhaps by half of the member states to be involved, to go to, at the end of the program period, to really cover all the member states in the use of clouds across Europe to ensure that we are able to stimulate the uptake, as mentioned before. Secondly, what we really want to do is that this use is going to benefit first to the groups that they are really the one using the less cloud services. As I mentioned before, some statistic around the use by public entities, but also by different SMEs. So this would be the two target groups that we would like first to address, even if this doesn't preclude other companies, of course, and other type of companies to also be involved in this type of initiative. And third, what is very important is we really want to have an holistic and synergy approach when we are going to build and deploy at large scale the use of cloud services, really by looking at synergy with other parts of the program within DEP with other initiatives, such as you heard about data space yesterday, for instance, that would also be benefiting, for instance, of the use of cross-border cloud services, but also other initiatives such as digital health, when you want to interconnect the different electronic record of health across Europe. You might need also to use some, for instance, SaaS services for doing that, and also IaaS services, but also to make sure that we ensure the coordination with other European instruments that exist as well. So really DEP to deploy at large scales the services and really boost the uptake of cloud services among the group that they are less inclined of using there, and then also complement that with some SEF2 digital funding, especially to support also the interconnection of the cloud infrastructure across the European territory. And finally, also making sure that we learn from what has been already done in the current period under Horizon 2020 with some projects that actually have already piloted some aspect of Cloud Federation as a service, such as SUNFISH. And I think I will stop here to give the floor, is the perfect transition to give the floor to Paolo Schiavo. That makes us a very great honor to be here with us today. So Paolo Schiavo has been working as Director General for more than 20 years for System Information in the Ministry of Italy. He has been working as civil servant more than 30 years. He has been piloted actually some of very important European projects, including the SUNFISH one on Cloud Federation and also Poseidon. Last but not least, he has also been awarded the Commendatore of the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic, and is making us the honor today to give us his thought about what Cloud Federation has meant, what was the lesson learned of what has been already done, and how we can scale up it into the future. Paolo, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, Alexandra, and it's me who I'm honored to be here, to be part of this process. And I was just start with a brief presentation of me, but not for a narcissistic reason, but because it's important to explain something that I will say after. I am the Director General of the Directorate for Information Technology of the Italian Ministry of Economy. And it is important to say that in the ministry we have two important activities. First, of course, support to provide IT solutions for my ministry. But the second one that is more important, we are providing services for the entire public administration, Italian public administrations. In particular, we are providing as an HR service that manage actually 2.1 million civil servants. So it's, I think, the biggest shared services in Europe. So the point is why, this explains why a ministry has been involved in European innovation research project, why in particular me, as General Director, is coordinator, for example, the Poseidon project, the project on GDPR, strengthen the compliance to the GDPR regulation. But before, and the reason why I'm here invited, the SUNFISH project. this is not common that the minister, I don't know if you know, I checked on the list and I'm the only minister among the all state members that is attending this forum. Why? So I am participating to this program because we have concrete problem to solve. We were looking to the innovation, to the research, to find solutions to problems we were not able with the normal instruments to solve. That's and we have now started an activity into innovation. That's the reason why I'm here talking to you, but also there is my team that here it's trying to participate to other innovation program. Let's go to what's more important, to the SUNFISH project, and to explain what it is. The SUNFISH project developed a platform, in brief, to share IT resources and data in a secure way. And it is important to say that the SUNFISH project has defined the concept of federation as a service. A secure by design cloud solution that enables organizations to federate their cloud with a distributed and democratic governance model. So what does this mean? Because it's important to say that there are two important requirements to push the public administration towards the cloud solutions. And they could be able to, they could accept, that's more important, to accept, to share their resources with other entities into the public administration if they have these possibilities. First, keeping the sovereignty on their data, because otherwise they won't participate. Second, the governance must distribute along all the members of the federation, because no public administration would accept another public administration to have the control of the governance. So the governance must distribute among the members. How we solve the problem to respect these two important fundamental requirements for the public administrations, and it was the use of the blockchain technology. I don't go, of course, further. Why? Because we have some more expert than me on this, but blockchain was fundamental to respect these two requirements. And another important aspect of the SUNFISH project I want to underline is that this project was made from public administrations for public administrations. So we have, on one way, inverted the normal way of doing, the normal approach, taking into account its needs, constraints, and put user requirements of the public sector at the forefront. The project so has been tested in 3 important use cases. The first one, the Maltese Ministry of Finance, in order to calculate the tax burden of the citizens. And it is an important use case also because we have federated not only private clouds, but also public clouds in a hybrid approach. The second one is very interesting because it's the use case of the Southeast Region Police that is part of the British local police. And the problem was to share secret information on investigation. You understand the importance to share, to be very secret on this data. And for this, we have used a particular technology that is secure multi-party computation. And the last use case, it's my use case that I will show with a video.
The European Union has made technological innovation its new attitude for the public sector. The SUNFISH Project has built on this approach, and through the development of 3 use cases in the Italian, Maltese, and British public administrations, has demonstrated the workability and sustainability of its solution. The Italian Ministry for Economy and Finance has placed itself at the forefront of the modernization path within the Italian PA by promoting security, efficiency, and sustainability. The Ministry of Interior has accepted to partner and share with the Ministry of Economy and Finance this challenge. The Italian Ministry of Economy and Finance supports Italy's entire public administration by providing a unique payroll function, Noipia, which currently serves approximately 2.1 million public sector employees and manages more than 51 billion euro in payments annually. Starting from 2015, the compulsory entrance in Noipia of Italian police and military personnel generated an increase of around 25% of the monthly payslips managed by the system. The main problem arose by the prohibition for the Ministry of Economy to access certain details of the new public staff managed, and the 2 ministries were compelled to share data among each other with low efficiency and efficacy. This was the problem that led the Italian Ministry of Economy and Finance to pursue a solution, the SUNFISH solution. Data related to the residence of police forces personnel is highly confidential and cannot be disclosed. This created a problem for the calculation of taxes because part of it, the local one, is based on residence. The Ministry of Economy has therefore asked its interior counterpart to install in its private cloud a blockchain-based smart contract software, which is made unchangeable and allows transfer of non-sensitive and computed data. MEFE can therefore issue payslips without ever knowing sensible information. Therefore, the blockchain technology applied to the SUNFISH platform guarantees enhanced security, and in particular enables the democratic governance of the Cloud Federation, the possibility of administering the Federation without relying on any super user. Some of the SUNFISH components are already deployed in a large-scale digital transformation program of Noipia called Cloudified Noipia. This new system will be soon accessible to more than 3 million public employees belonging to over 11,000 different public bodies and will be the biggest system in the world. The SUNFISH platform could potentially lead the European public sector towards new frontiers, representing the solution capable of overcoming current levels of fragmentation of data centers, characterized by low levels of efficiency and low levels of security, federating parts of Europe's key IT infrastructure into a single transnational cloud infrastructure, which could act as a cloud service provider for the entire public sector, could provide incredible opportunities and benefits to Europe's citizens.
So, just I don't want to go into details, but just to tell you that this project was very important for my directorate because a lot of the technological solutions are the backbone of other projects, but in particular, but what's most important, they have introduced a cultural change into innovation. But the main argument I want is why SUNFISH is still so important. Because I think, and there was something said in the video about it, there are some challenges for the public sector that are, and also Alexandra has told something before, that are still true today. In particular, I told you SUNFISH federated heterogeneous public clouds in a secure manner. So it can establish this solution. A cloud network of excellence, pooling the infrastructures and lowering the dispersion of data among thousands of data centers, several data centers that often, most of them are unsecure and inefficient. So this is a strategy for many, I think, the use of the cloud solution for rationalization of data centers that is common in many countries in Europe and in Italy for sure, because we are in a process of digital transition to rationally. We have in Italy 13,000 data centers for the public sector. You can imagine which kind of data centers we have. So we are trying to use the cloud computing to rationalize this situation. So we have started with the 3 years plan for the public administration to indicate some actions to do towards the cloud and to create an infrastructure for the public administration by creating national strategic poles of private or cloud. We are private or hybrid clouds, data centers. Where are we now? This is interesting. We are trying to identify the available data centers that can be compliant with the requirements to be strategic poles. So let's start with what we have. Let's start for some data centers that can be good enough to be cloud providers for other public administration. The problem is that we have, in the chances we are made, the number of these cloud infrastructure we have that can be strategic poles in Italy can be counted with the fingers on my hand, no more. So we are very, very late in this project, in realizing a cloud infrastructure for the public sector, made by the public sector. And this is in a situation where the demand of cloud technology is increasing from the public sector. So what's the problem? This demand can be satisfied by the public providers. Of course, the demand is going to be covered only from the private providers. And this is fueling a strong debate in Italy about lock-in, problem of lock-in, and the problem, of course, above all, of data security. Where are my data going to? This is the main problem. So, I think that this scenario is not only Italian. Many other countries are late in the cloud strategy implementation. In this context, the Federation as a Service approach is still an affordable way to face these common challenges to cloud implementation. But, as for what I said before, we must think cross-border. We must stay only in our national situation. A federation of European clouds between European countries could overcome the lack of good cloud infrastructure, pooling resources and contributing to solve the issues related to data security and lock-in. And this is, let me say, is possible because cloud are virtual resources that do not depend on the barrier, on the physical territorial barrier. So, another question is why, after 2 years from the end of the project, no one has developed or taken or adopted the SUNFISH solution? If it's so positive, why no one has taken it? Let me answer to this question with the OECD recommendations on digital government strategies of 2014. Well, they say there are some challenges to face when innovating in the public sector. The first challenge is resistance to change. Everyone who knows the public sector knows that this is a common attitude for the public sector. The second one is that the public sector often works by silos. So if you want to overtake the silos, you need a planning of policies coherent and strategical. But, and I will read from the recommendations, governments remain organized around units, each with clear responsibilities and processes, as well as problems to integrate their ways of working. This is a major challenge for integration of digital innovation to overall public sector reform strategies. So if these are the consideration, the obstacles that we are seeing, the hypothesis of a cross-national innovation process, what we need, of course we need, and of course the real change to develop a cloud federation in Europe, is to build a broad political commitment. We need a real, concrete, and a political support, concrete solution and political support for the creation of federal cloud system. In conclusion, implementing a cloud federation, we need a huge amount among all the member states of collaboration and cooperation to overcome this resistance. And it requires the understanding that of the current situation of every single country in the implementation of cloud strategy in public sector, the identification of common standards, and the dissemination of best practice related not only to technological, but also, as I said, organizational implementation. It requires a concrete, proactive political commitment that can help everybody to take a step ahead. That's why me and my organization look up to the European Commission to lead this important game. And as I showed in the slide, the European Commission should be the conductor of this orchestra, where every musician has his own instruments, as each member states and public administration in the member states, but we